He is doctor. I want to point that out to you, Dr. Joel Seedman.
What's he a doctor in?
He is a gold mine of this kind of just absolute bullshit. But I mean, watch, because look at the amount of weight that this guy's handling. And this is Carson. He's an NFL. He's in the NFL, and I believe had a neck injury not too long ago.
I wonder why he had a neck injury. Do you think that may have, jostling him with a
this is post
Swiss ball?
From the Asgard Company Studios in beautiful Wichita Falls, Texas, from the finest mind in the modern fitness industry, the one true voice in the strength and conditioning profession, the most important podcast on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, starting Strength Radio.
Welcome back to Starting Strength Radio. We are going to talk about just some stuff today that just occurred to us a little while ago. This is one of these shows we're just going to jerk out of our asses. And what's going to happen is you're going to be amazed at how good we are at jerking things out of our asses. Yep.
Were they there already?
They were there. There's always a lot ready to jerk out of our asses.
But who put it there?
We did.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got it. That's crystal clear.
We put it there. So anyway, God almighty. Anyway,
it's gonna be great.
We're going to talk about the general public's impression of fitness as created for them by the media. And I think this will be instructive. This ought to at least generate some useful comments from the haters.
That was an excellent segue.
Wasn't
Very good. Very good.
I know how to segue.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm an old pro at that. All right, now here's a bunch of shit. Who gathered these today?
Bree.
Did Bree get all these?
Bree, yeah.
Well, they ought to be hateful then. So, all right, what is the forces on the knee?
Oh man, they're
thing?
upset about that.
They're real upset about that.
Yeah,
what was
it's
that?
a clip from a video that Ray and John Dowdy did, and it's just showing the Dowdy's at the bottom of the squat, and Ray's describing, he's kind of in a high bar position, describing where the moment arms are, where the forces on the knee are,
right?
And then he puts them in the our squat position. Now his back, he didn't have a bar on his back, right? So his shoulders are forward of the midfoot. We all know that's not a problem, but the internet is losing their fucking minds over this.
Oh God Almighty! Well,
great.
Let me read. We have 1, 2, 4 comments on this.
Oh, there's more
forces on the knee video.
They're pissed.
So they don't understand physics.
They're pissed.
No,
that's weird.
No one understands.
It's weird. Real weird.
Time to unsubscribe.
Bye.
All right. This is an awful channel. Man, these guys.
Bree always comes through.
She comes through, man. All right. Here's one that says, "This is why your knees are weak in the first place, while you are afraid to squat with knee flex ion." FLEX space ION. You've just replaces potential knee pain with back pain.
Got to pick one.
Got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to pick one.
All right. And then the last one, of course, is ROFL, which apparently means in the internet, rolling on the floor laughing.
Right, yeah.
Do one barbell squat using that form and you're in the ER prepping for back surgery, my friend.
That explains why Dowdy's in the ER right now,
Yeah,
having
he's
back
in
surgery.
the ER, even as we speak. Dowdy's in the ER.
And everybody who's come in contact with the starting strength gym.
Yeah, everybody in every starting strength gym is all over the world is crippled. All right, now, stronger is better video generated this highly intelligent comment from some fucking idiot. Bigger and fatter.
That's the comment?
That's the comment.
Wow. That's good.
All right, now, here's a longer one. This is from the clip, apparently, Starting Strength Indianapolis. So is that, that's going to be Andrew Lewis.
Andrew,
and
yeah.
Somebody is pulling on the bar here. The little thumbnail, I can kind of read it. All right, 99% plus people don't want to do deadlifts or lift heavy weight. Instead of lunges, squats, and deadlifts, most women would prefer to do a set of easy higher rep hip thrusts or something. Most people just want to work out and look and feel better about themselves. Instead of this backwards approach, why not base your training on your client's goals? If my client wants to increase strength and power in core movements, then fine. I do teach core movement patterns to all, but then tell people to modify based on your goals. Not everyone wants to get seriously fatigued 3 to 6 times per week. I lighter, easier workout done consistently produces great body composition goals. The number one factor to gains is consistency.
I feel like I just went to school. Wow.
In 3rd grade.
How does this fucking idiot manage to miss the fact that we don't care about body composition? Where this is a strength program.
Well,
How do you?
there's a lot of other shit wrong with that.
How
Too.
do you
Yeah,
not-
there's
well,
more than
all
just that.
kinds of
There's
shit
more than
wrong
just
with
that.
You know, yeah, it's.
I think he misses
the
a lot of things in
overarching
life.
problem here. Really, the overarching problem here is this person is stupid. Yeah,
As-
Yeah.
that's what.
There you
That's
go.
the
Yeah,
overarching.
he's missing a lot of things in life.
What is his name here? See,
Where's-
Mystic Jedi
Oh, nice.
6730.
He's one of Rusty's people.
Mystic Jedi 6730.
Oh, Mystic Jedi, not you again. I told you
Yeah.
to stop.
Mystic fucking Jedi. Understands very little. Mystic Jedi works at Gold's Gym. Right? All right, now, let's see. There's barbell. All right, I always found this guy a bit jealous, hateful toward everyone else. LOL, his 5x5 is not a sales gimmick. Come on, son. This is with respect to Arthur, my thoughts on Arthur Jones. 5 sets of 5 is a sales gimmick.
Yeah. That's not even.
Despite
Your
that's
program.
not what we do. Yeah. All right, here's one. This is a good one here. Strong people are healthier than runners. Starting Strength Network previews. Does the BLAD guy, B-L-A-D guy, annoy anyone else, or is it just me?
Look at his smile.
He's got a picture of you.
Yeah, he's talking about me,
He's talking
obviously.
about you.
Shit,
He
Rusty's
doesn't know
not.
how to spell bald.
Rusty's
but
not Blad.
No. You're the only BLAD one. Isn't it? I'm
Yeah, you hide it.
chasing,
You hide it.
I'm chasing
I
you
know
down.
well.
So he's not talking about me.
I'm on your ass, motherfucker.
Almost there. I can't wait
Let's
to see
see.
Rip with it. Just a shaved,
All right.
shiny head. It's going to be awesome.
Should we put him in
And the last
blackface?
one here is you should weigh 300 pounds. That's the previews. You should weigh 300 pounds.
I think this was the guy that was like
well,
six. A guy called in or something. He was
The
like
guy
6'7".
was like 6'7" or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
It's masterful titling by Rusty or something.
Yeah, go ahead and buy your CPAP now. That's what he says.
Love the haters, man.
So
It's great.
that's this week's installment of comments from the haters.
Wonderful. Good job, Bree.
All right, excellent, Bree. Thank you for that. Sure appreciate you.
Hey, just
Appreciate you.
Just a quick thing. You said at the beginning. You said the public's perception of fitness, and I think
Yes.
I think we should make a quick point here. If you so with a lot of these and some of the ones that I found today, it's when you search strength training. So fitness, it's strength training. I think
Fitness is even worse.
that's what fitness is even worse. But the things that we're going to watch today fall under the realm of strength training.
According
to them, right?
The people who have put these all up.
Exactly. So you're a young guy, right? You decide you're going to look up strength training, and you go on Instagram or YouTube.
And what you're going to see
this is what you're going to see
is functional training.
This is what you're going to see.
You're going to see functional training. Now, all right, let's define a couple of terms here. And we've talked about this a lot. We are the fucking leaders in the world in defining terms because no one else defines them. Like, what's training?
Right.
Well, just what you do in the gym is training, right? No, it's not. All right. First, let's back up beyond that. What is exercise? Well, in exercise, we use that term in our descriptions of movement patterns that we load. A squat is an exercise. But if you're going to get some exercise, what are you doing? Well, you're stopping by the gym on the way home from work. You're going in the gym, and you're going to go in the locker room, and you're going to put on your same shorts and T-shirts you had, in the bag there for 6 or 8 weeks, and then you put your shoes on. You go out in the gym, and first thing you do is go to the dumbbell rack, pick up the 10-pound dumbbells and wave them around in the air, and then you get on a treadmill and watch TV for a little while, and then you take a sweat. You go to the sauna and take a sweat. Go to the shower, wash off, put your clothes back on, and stuff that same T-shirt and shorts back into your gym bag for use next time. Because really you didn't do anything in them anyway. And then you leave, and that's exercising. Just moving around in a way that makes you feel better about yourself. It's a form of masturbation. Okay? On the other hand, training is a system of progressively increasing difficulty that drives a physical adaptation. Training is planned. Training is recorded. If you don't have a training log, you're not training. You just go into gym and fuck around today, you're exercising. Training is specifically designed to produce an adaptation. Now, adaptations are different. Depending on what you're trying to get adapted to do, your training will reflect that difference. If you're training for a powerlifting meet, you're going to do it one way. If you're training for an Olympic weightlifting meet, you're going to do it another way. If you're training for strongman competition, you're going to do it a third different way. If you're training just to be stronger, you're going to do it a different way. You just want to get stronger, not for a competition, but to be stronger. You come into the gym when you're training with your training book, and in that book are the directions for what you're going to do today. When you're training, you know before you get there what's going to happen in the gym. That's training. So when I say training, that's what I'm talking about. It's that we specifically use that term in a way that nobody else does because it makes more sense to do it like that. All right? So when I say strength training, when I talk about strength training, I am talking about a process by which you apply a stress to your body that causes a strength adaptation. That is strength training. Now, if you're a member of the general public and you don't really want anything out of your workout than to feel better about yourself, just exercise, man. Just go in, get the 10-pound dumbbells, wave them around in the air, walk on the treadmill. Watch CNN for 30 minutes while you walk on the treadmill. And,
make your doctor happy.
Get 30 minutes of exercise.
Nothing wrong with that.
3 days. Not a damn thing wrong with that. It's just not training.
Right.
It's not training. It's not what we do. It's a different activity altogether. It is not the same thing as doing starting strength. When you're doing starting strength, you're strength training. All right? Where there's a specific way that you are going to set up your workout. There are specific ways that you execute the exercises. There are specific ways you program the stress so that over the course of time, the stress increases, causing you to increase your ability to produce force against an external resistance. And this is a completely different thing than swinging by the gym on the way home and fucking around on the exercise floor. Wiggling your knees around on the knee extension machine, that kind of thing. This is a completely different approach to it. So when I say training, I'm not talking about what you're going to see today in terms of what training actually is. The media in this country, in the world, this is world media at this point, where the internet has unified the entire planet, with the exception of whatever that outpost is in Antarctica that doesn't seem to participate in anything. Everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's looking at the same videos. Everybody is sharing the same ideas. Everybody's being fed the same information. And everybody is pretty much universally wrong about a bunch of stuff. They're demonstrably, provably wrong. And what we're gonna show you a bunch of videos today that we have pulled off of primarily Instagram. And we're gonna show you a couple of things. But first thing I want to make you understand that you get your ideas about everything from the media. Now, there's a couple of ways to approach this. You can sit down like I do, because I have to manage my forum, and you can sit down and look at current events for 3 hours a day like I do and familiarize yourself with what is actually going on by sorting through what you want to see, sorting through and making sure that you've got both sides of the issue presented to you, that you got a handle on the actual arguments being promoted, and you have to actually do that actively, right? But then there's the other way to do it, which is to just turn on NBC and leave it on all day, so that when the news comes on, NBC News is on. NBC News is pouring into your head. And whether you want to or not, you are absorbing at least some of this propaganda that is foisted upon you. Okay? Now, if you keep CNN on all day, it's an order of magnitude worse, because it's constant propaganda. MSNBC, constant propaganda. Fox News is not any better. Really, no shit. Those of you that still think that Fox News is the right-wing answer to CNN are not paying any attention to what's going on. So that just illustrates this process. If the thing is on and it's running into your head, you're going to absorb some of this. Now, how does this relate to the fitness situation? Well, exactly the same way. If CNN runs a piece on fitness and is talking to you about what wonderful exercise running is and how you have to be aerobically fit or you're going to die, and the only way to get aerobically fit is to do aerobics, Zumba. What are some of the popular aerobics things now?
CrossFit.
CrossFit. CrossFit's popular.
That's about it.
What is jazzercise? Do people still do that?
No,
they don't do jazzercise. Do they still do Zumba?
I don't think so.
I'm sure they still do Zumba. Those things are packed
Are they?
all the time.
I haven't heard.
There's
I haven't
Well,
heard Zumba mentioned in
spin class.
10 years.
Spin class is still a deal, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but everybody's on the Peloton now. They just do it from their house.
Oh, they're just plugged in.
They're plugged in
to the
Matrix.
right. Well, what if you wanted to go in a group situation and ride?
I'm sure they still exist. There's
in a room full of smelly.
There's a
fellows.
franchise. There's a franchise, a high-end franchise that exists. That's exactly that.
Yeah.
Going to ride a bike in a dark room.
All right. So this is and you have received information from the media that this is a good thing for you to do. What you've not been told by the media is that you need to get your deadlift up, and that if you're not squatting, 1.5 times your body weight, you're not even trying. This is what you haven't been told, and as a result, there's a giant hole in your awareness of what should be taking place when you do the fitness thing. Okay? So when fitness, when we use the term, we're kind of talking about the industry as a whole. We're talking about the fitness industry. And the fitness industry consists of large gyms with either expensive memberships or very, very inexpensive memberships that you're not designed to actually use. Planet Fitness is a brilliant business model. I'll bet you this Planet Fitness here in little old Wichita Falls has got 5,000 members.
Oh, yeah.
Paying them $10 a month.
Oh, yeah.
To not use the club.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you do better than that?
You underpay personal trainers and you do personal training on top of that. That's how you do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could actually show up to Planet Fitness and get somebody to set pins in the leg extension machine for you, and then tell you at the end of every set, nice, nice, head nods. This is the CrossFit nice. That's when the guy that doesn't know what the hell he's doing approves of what you're doing.
He's got a two phrase vocabulary. One is nice, and the other one is butt wink.
Butt wink. Yes, he's going to tell you you've got butt wink while you're doing leg extensions.
This is on subject but off subject. I go to a different gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays because it's in my town, and there's a girl that personal trains there. She has zero idea what's going on.
No idea.
Half the time, they're on the leg extension, leg curl. She's counting.
Talking about her kids, probably.
She's got her phone out while they're doing their set. And then every now and then shows her some eyebrows.
So she's not videoing the set with her phone?
No,
she's texting to
she's
somebody
on
else
her phone
while she's babysitting the person on the leg extension machine.
Well, most people aren't there to actually work out. They're there to have a social,
they're
a paid social
hot and
hour,
sweaty and
to hang out with the trainer.
Well, they said
and to feel better. They're there to feel better about themselves.
Well, and then to be able to say, I have a trainer.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Yeah,
This is my trainer.
that's the thing. She's about this big around, right?
Yeah.
And all the people I see her with are not that big around.
Having a trainer is a bit of a status symbol.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah.
But
and the most prestigious trainer of all is Rusty Holcomb.
He hasn't figured it out yet, fortunately.
He hadn't figured it out. Or he'd have the big head.
He'd be up there where you are.
Yeah.
You'd be
on
back
this
here
side of the table.
running the fucking audio.
That side of the table.
Being a pain in the ass.
I'm still a pain in the ass.
Well,
Rip,
not going to get an argument from us about that.
I think an important thing to point out here is that what especially for the fans listening to this, what you guys are going to see today is, and this is, it's not a coordinated effort. I mean, if you're a conspiracy theorist, there's coordinated efforts to put out narratives and stuff. That's not the deal here. What this is the current cutting edge.
This is what is being done.
This is what experts in strength and conditioning do. This is what's done with the most successful athletes and teams in the world.
Right.
So when we're here talking about fundamental principles like getting stronger, and it's easy to dismiss because we have one tool, which is the barbell to get stronger. When you're watching these videos, you have to ask yourself, and anybody's capable of doing this, you have to ask yourself, is this person displaying something, an attribute that they already have, or are they developing an athletic skill? When we talk about developing an athletic skill, we're going to do that through getting stronger, and we've made all the arguments for why that is over and over and over again. Yes. So is this a display of innate or already developed athletic activity?
So once you get past, let me back up a little bit. We got to get past the fitness thing because we're not concerned with fitness. Fitness is an industry. Fitness is what you do on the way home from work. All right, it's exercising. It's going in and using the machines in a big gym, paying your dues, trying to stay out of the way, not demanding a bunch of time from the staff. All right? If you decide to go past fitness, then you're going to have to make a decision about what you want to train for. All right? Now, a person who goes to 2 marathons a year and enters in marathon has decided to be a competitive runner. And that is a type of training. It is a different type of training than we do, and I would argue that it is, in terms of your health, our way works a lot better than that. But if you've decided to compete, or you've decided to approach your training at a level that would allow you to compete, were you to decide to do so, then we're not talking about fitness, we're talking about some type of training. Now, since we do strength training, we're concerned about getting you stronger. The media, on the other hand, is concerned with showing you flashy things that look interesting, because that's just the nature of the media. That's what they do, is they show you interesting things so that you'll stay tuned, so that you'll click on their shit and then look at it. All right? And what we're going to show you today is a collection of little videos that completely miss the point. This is not training. This is what is called functional training. Functional training has won the argument. I'm sorry, but we lost the argument. Functional training won the argument with the weight of the media. That's how it's been done. All right. Functional training is inventing new ways to make something other than force production be the variable in the exercise you're doing. And usually it's balance. Now, like Nick said, what you're going to see are a bunch of videos of extremely talented athletes that were extremely talented athletes before they engaged in the stupid bullshit that you're going to watch them do on these videos. These people have been recruited by other people who know what to look for when they're trying to find athletic talent to send to a D1 school or to a professional team. Recruiters know what to look for, and what they look for is athletic talent. Now, gifted natural athletes have a few things in common, okay? They all have a big vertical jump. They're all explosive. Their neuromuscular systems are very, very efficient. they can recruit more motor units into a contraction very, very quickly than you can. That's why they are professional athletes and you are not. I mean, being honest, D1 athletes are professional athletes. Professional athletes, usually the vast majority of the time, are natural athletes. Natural athletes have big verticals. They have got very good hand, foot, and eye coordination. They're very good at reading things around them in the environment and reacting to them quickly. By virtue of the fact that their neuromuscular systems are very efficient, they are stronger than you are. They are stronger than you are when they're 12 years old. Natural athleticism is visible in kids. And you all know that. We all went to high school. We know who these freak athletes were when we were in high school. Remember those guys on the football team that were just better at this shit than we were? They're born that way. And the recruiter's job is to find these guys. Right now, when he finds these guys and they're on the team, what should the strength and conditioning coach be doing? As opposed to what do they do? Well, what they should do is take these athletic specimens, these freaks, these genetic freaks, natural athletes, and make them stronger than they are now. Because if you got a guy with a 36-inch vertical, a genetic freak, and he's only squatting 315, we haven't even tapped his potential. We hadn't even started with him. We haven't even opened the door with a guy like that. Because a guy like that can be squatting 495 in about 8 or 9 months. And if he's squatting 315 versus 495, how much harder can he hit you if we take you squat from 315 to 495? And I say 315 because a lot of these guys just walk in off the street able to squat 315 without any training at all. That's how much better they are than us, right? But it's your job to reveal to everybody his potential. And his potential cannot be realized if you don't make him much stronger, which you ought to be able to do if you are a strength and conditioning coach. If you're a strength and conditioning coach and you don't know how to get a guy like that to a 600 deadlift, you're not very good at this. All right? You're not very good at this. And all of the dancing around in the floor that you're going to see is merely the talent that the guy already had. And all you're doing is displaying what the man could already do. The things he could do that actually got him recruited and placed in your locker room already. They're already there. And all you're doing is having him display that. Well, what you ought to be doing is getting him stronger, but you don't know how. So to cover up for the fact that you don't know how, you come up with things like this.
Just a subtle...
that was a segue.
Wonderful, beautiful. Just a subtle rephrasing of your argument that helps me and I think helps other people. Because, look, this is no matter how silly it seems to us, this is extremely compelling because you've got guys who are moving incredible amounts of weight doing this dumb shit. They look really fucking good. I mean, they look better than us.
I mean, look at the physiques on these guys. And the media want you to believe that they look like this because of the shit they're doing. Now, that is the message.
And in addition to that, they are doing things that look like their sport. Whether you're an athlete or not, everybody has physical hobbies, and they're going to start asking themselves, how do I improve my performance in my physical hobbies? And this shit is very compelling for all the reasons that we just talked about. So the job of the strength and conditioning coach is to improve the performance of the player. they improve performance. I mean, there's any number of ways to improve performance. The best way for these guys, and for anybody really, to improve performance is to get them stronger, because that is the fucking low-hanging fruit that nobody has touched.
That's the easiest thing to do. If you have a guy walks in your locker room with a 36-inch vertical jump, with a 275 squat, the low-hanging fruit is a 495 squat.
Right. And
that's low-hanging fruit.
And that principle applies to the NFL athlete, the UFC fighter, and to you, to the regular person. It's the same exact fucking thing no matter what. So there's nothing I mean, these guys are going to perform at a much higher level, but in terms of how to approach the process, it's not any different. So, just to head off the arguments or even the conflict that people might have is like, well, these guys are in the NFL. They have different needs. No, they fucking don't have different needs than you. They perform at a higher level, but their basic needs for athletic development are the same. Now, they're going to deviate very quickly from that.
Here is you. Here is them. But everybody can do that.
Exactly.
That's the point.
And the most efficient way to do that is through strength training, right?
Yes.
So, I guess we could start watching some videos.
Before we start, I want to throw in one thing. Not only is the coach's job to get them stronger, to get their performance up, it's to do it safely. Now, here's the thing. You have these fucking freaks doing this insane stuff, and the risk-reward ratio is just, it's insane. If some of these guys get hurt doing this weird shit, because a squat's safe, a deadlift is safe, press is safe, bench is safe, power cleans are safe. But
they're going to say that snatches and power cleans are not safe.
For sure.
The head coach is going to say that.
But they don't know. That's ignorance.
You hit a kid in the head with a medicine ball as part of his training.
Well, and there's
here's the thing. This is I think that everything that we're going to see here, even though like we've got the guy who's trap barring 315 with Seedman hitting him in the head, that's not hard for him. It's not stressful. It's not dangerous. It's actually easy for him.
No, it's
easy. Now he's breathing.
He's already
hard.
able to do it.
Exactly.
And the way dangerous. You know he's already able to do it is because you're watching him do it.
Exactly. It's not dangerous. It's not fucking dangerous.
He's not operating at the edge, creating a stress to adapt to, which is what training does.
It would be like you and me doing this with 65 pounds.
Right. The one that gets me, and we'll see it, is the bench one, where he's got, 315 and he's planking the same time he's benching.
But again, Rusty, that would be like you doing it with 80 pounds. It's not dangerous. The guy's strong as fuck. It's not dangerous.
Yeah, the guy's strong.
Yeah.
All right, but he needs to be stronger. And the fact that he can get stronger and that the strength and conditioning coach doesn't make him stronger equals wasted potential.
Yeah.
And that is the problem.
Right. It's wasted.
They are, in a nutshell, here's the situation. They think that they are creating a stress to which the athlete must adapt by having him dance around in the floor on unstable surfaces with 15-pound dumbbells. And they're not.
They're not doing anything.
They're not doing anything. All they're doing is having him do what he can already do, which doesn't make him better.
Right.
It just makes you feel better, and it impresses the head coach because he's a dumbass. And he didn't know anything about this stress, recovery, adaptation shit. He doesn't know anything about it at all. But you, as a strength and conditioning coach, are supposed to know this. If you are not forcing an adaptation, you're not doing your job. What's the most beneficial adaptation? It's stronger.
Right.
And you already know that because the best athletes on your team are also the strongest athletes on your team. The problem is you just didn't make them get that way.
Right.
When you could have.
Yeah.
You could have made all of them get that way, and you didn't do it. You instead opted to play games on the green AstroTurf in the floor.
Yeah, they should be embarrassed because they're ultimately just wasting time. They're
let's look at some of these.
Not getting better at their sport and not developing any athletic ability. So here's the first one. This is the LA Rams.
Los Angeles Rams. They play football, right?
Yeah, in the NFL,
all right.
And they're back at it again.
Rams have one of the best strength and conditioning teams in the NFL.
Repeat contacts to build valuable limb stiffness and vertical output.
This is what constitutes the best strength and conditioning in the NFL.
Extensions in the weight room to build power output in the same plane. You'll see consistent use of a tendo unit attached to the bar to track bar speed and help determine accurate loading. This also
About
shows the
185
connection between the plows and speed in the weight.
Yeah.
What's accurate loading?
Horizontal power, I love this simple sprint variation with a med ball.
It's just a thing to say.
Further push on the front side and direction forward, but with the clear inclination to stop, it also challenges deceleration. I imagine this is a prowler variation designed as sort of a resisted broad jump. Something like this is what we do similar in our facility. Last but not least, what good is all this power and speed if we can't direct it in non-linear fashions? Curvilinear sprints are valuable, and you'll see timers used here. Follow for more.
Because they don't know how to turn when they're sprinting.
Yeah, because this kid has never turned before when he was sprinting. Right? He really can't do that until the strength and conditioning coach gives him some cones to run around in the field.
And he's like,
So
this
what,
is how.
What in that video is not taken care of thoroughly by just going to football practice?
All of
Nothing.
it.
Yeah.
All of it happens in football practice. Right. It is not necessary to make strength and conditioning look like football practice.
And furthermore, to bring to your point, like how much more power can you develop in this athlete without loading the fuck out of them?
Well,
You can't.
Power is a function of strength. Power is strength displayed quickly. The math is P equals F times D over T. T is time. That's how quick you are.
Right.
F is how much weight you lift. It's how strong you are. F is trainable. T is really not very trainable, although they like to play like it is.
Yep.
And that's kind of the whole
what they're
basis
doing, right?
of this whole
Yep.
thing. They're pretending like they can have a meaningful impact on rate of force development.
Right.
How quick you can be. They want to make you quicker. Well, you know what you ought to do? Instead of doing that, you ought to make them stronger. Because the algebra says that if F goes up, P goes up. And F is much more trainable. Force production is more trainable than reaction time.
Right.
We recruit reaction time.
Yep. And one of the
We find reaction time in the high schools.
Sure.
And then the reaction time is built into the kid. And then if we make the kid stronger, then we have athletes whose names you remember.
one of the undeniable hallmarks of a very good athlete is economy of movement and how efficiently they move, right? So if you put together a study where you're going to test rate of force development or power or speed, and you take unathletic people and you teach them a movement, and then you have them do it and you have them practice it, and then you come back and you test it again, they're going to get much faster because they've gotten more efficient just by learning it. These people are already efficient as fuck with anything that they do.
Yes.
I mean, look how clean and precise their movements are. You're not going to make them any faster. You're not going to make them any more powerful.
No, because really you can't. And even if you can make them 5% faster, why don't you try making them 200% stronger?
So
because that's attainable.
So
that's attainable, and the other's not.
Right. I had a kid come in here, and he's a natural athlete. We ran his first day. He was squatting 315.
Yeah.
And I ran his LP. We ran his LP all the way to the mid fours. He was squatting 450. And I told him this entire time whenever we were doing this, don't run, because he's asking. He said, I need to get faster for football. I need to get faster. It's like, don't worry about that.
Faster is from the squat.
Let's get your squat up, and don't worry about running. And then he went first day of practice at college. His time went down.
His 40.
His time went down, and he didn't run at all the entire time we were running his LP.
This happens all the time. This is what we always see.
Yeah.
We always see this. You don't improve your sprint by sprinting. You improve your sprint by getting stronger, and that's why the 100-meter guys in the Olympics all squat heavy weights.
That's why they're all jacked as fuck.
That's why they look the way they do.
They're all huge.
They look the way they do because the genetics of a 100-meter sprint requires strength.
Right.
It requires strength, a function of which is explosion.
Yep.
But those guys all lift big weights. Usain Bolt is a big squatter. He's a big deadlifter.
Yep.
Those guys don't look that way accidentally. The sport selects for that amount of muscle mass because the sport demands force production.
Yep.
And that's why those guys look different than the marathon guys.
Right.
10,000-meter guys don't look like the sprinters. It's a different stress. It's a different adaptation. Okay?
Yep.
But this is so transparent to me, and it's aggravating that people can't see this.
Let's watch. So Dr.
Yeah, let's watch some
Dr.
more.
Joel Seedman. We're going to watch a couple from him, and
He's great.
He is doctor. I want to point that out to you, Dr. Joel Seedman.
What's he a doctor in?
He is a gold mine of this kind of just absolute bullshit. But I mean, watch, because look at the amount of weight that this guy's handling. And this is Carson. He's an NFL. He's in the NFL, and I believe had a neck injury not too long ago.
I wonder why he had a neck injury. Do you think that may have, jostling him with a
Well, this is post
Swiss ball?
Post neck injury.
This is his rehab.
This is rehab for the neck injury.
Look at
Now,
this.
that's shrewd.
Big tuck.
So you got an impressive looking guy moving impressive amounts of weight, but this is 155 pounds.
Yeah. Excellent. Switch.
Oh, man, look at him switch.
Excellent.
He couldn't have done that without the trap bar deadlift thing.
Yep.
And knows how to switch his feet.
Nice job.
That's what we taught him. Right?
Good. There we go.
How much shit does he have hanging off of him?
Good. Heels out, toes in more. Right there. Right
Well,
there.
he's got a bunch of shit hanging off of him, but he can't do a full range of motion chin up.
Nice.
Nice. I like it when they say nice.
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 Nice. Hold that. Nice. Hold that. Good. Excellent.
So anyway,
Is there anything in that is producing a stress that again is going to develop any athletic attribute in him? It's just a
No,
display. It's all
because
just a display.
he is operating far, far below his capacity
Of course he
in the
is.
weight room, and none of that constitutes a stress to which an adaptation must take place.
An adaptation to anything. He's not helping his balance. He's not helping his neck. He's
No.
not helping shit.
No. And on the other hand, what would help him? Putting 200 pounds on his squat would tighten everything up, make everything stronger, make his neck more injury-proof, make his knees more injury-proof, make his back more injury-proof, because now the whole column of muscle from the floor to the top of the head is stronger.
Right.
And all you have to do is squat and deadlift and press. All you have to do. Now, what's the most efficient way to squat and deadlift and press? Full range of motion with as much weight as you can handle for sets of 5. That's the most efficient way to do it. It's not complicated.
This is a good one. This is an Australian. I guess they play American football in Australia, but he is rehabbing an ACL. Oh shit! I'm clicking the wrong thing. There we go.
Active front foot.
He's skipping is what he's doing. That's what we did when we were kids.
Look at that technique, though. That's important.
Man, that's,
The hands.
Look at the
It's the
fingers.
hands. Yeah.
The splayed out fingers.
So this post says, I want to remind everybody, this post says ACL rehab session. There's some shit about foot conditioning down here, too.
Foot conditioning.
Because this is a thing that a guy who plays football at that level needs, right?
Right. Oh, this is the ACL re-injury program.
And this is why it's things like this is why I say this stuff is not safe.
No, it's not safe. No, it's not safe, but it's visually impressive. All of this shit shares one thing in common. It is visually impressive. It's impressive to the head coach. It's impressive to the audience. It's impressive to the fools that get all of their information from Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else on social media. What it is not is a challenge in terms of a stress to a system that needs adaptation. And what it is a significant exposure to re-injury. If you've got an ACL repair, chances are very, very high that you're going to re-rupture that ACL repair. Sorry, that's the numbers. Happens all the time. And the last thing you want to do is to rupture an ACL repair in the weight room, because that's stupid. It's going to happen on the field anyway. You know, in fact, I've heard estimates that 30% of the guys in the NFL are playing with a ruptured ACL.
Yep. Yeah.
That they didn't tell anybody about because they don't want to be cut.
Right.
But they're strong enough that it doesn't
if
fuck
your
with them.
hamstrings are strong enough, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, how do you get your hamstrings strong enough? Well, you deadlift and you squat correctly for a full range of motion. That's how you protect your ACL. You don't rehab the ACL by exposing it to instability. That's stupid. But that's what's done. Okay, what's next?
Another NFL. So the NFL guys are good to show because they're, arguably the strongest humans in America.
They are the most freaky
fastest,
physical specimens on the planet. There's no doubt.
Right. Most athletically impressive. They look really good. They're huge. And look at this. This is Flash Garrett. Hashtag NFL strength training, NFL strength.
And look at this clown. He's pulling his knee into valgus with a rubber band. Now, that's a good position for a loaded knee, isn't it?
With about a 30-pound dumbbell in his
With a
hand.
30-pound dumbbell. Yeah, it's light. It's light.
This is just a waste of time. They're not doing anything.
This is just visually impressive to people
Is he
that don't
pushing
know what
on
the
him
hell they're
too?
looking at.
Yeah, he's pushing on
He's
him.
pushing on him too.
So he's
there's a
pulling
big-
the knee into valgus.
There's a big there's another video in here that I'll show you, I think, but there's a big emphasis on resisting shit, like resisting twist, on resisting changes in for, like they'll have one guy holding a kettlebell and then he'll drop it real quick, but how much is he resisting with this little skinny dude holding a rubber band on his knee? He's not resisting shit.
No.
He's not resisting shit. And especially compared to the forces that he's going to see on
the field. Yep.
In any practice, right?
Yes.
And that's the point here. Anytime that man walks onto a field and goes through a practice, his knee is seeing orders of magnitude more torsional
stress,
instability than what he's seeing in the room.
And since that's the case, practice at that level provides a
Of course it
training
does.
stimulus.
Sure it does.
Practice at that
does.
level provides a training stimulus, far in excess of what these fools are doing in their little green AstroTurf weight room.
Right. Yeah. It's offensive music.
Oh, this is really cool.
This is
isn't
the 49ers.
This is visually impressive.
There we
You
go.
can look at him
There you go.
drop the trap bar with the bumper plates
Look
on
at
it.
this, man. $95 pounds.
95-pound split jerk.
95-pound split jerk, man.
So I'm the strength and conditioning
What
coach.
was
I'm
that?
And I'm filming this, right? It's just to stroke my own ego.
all
I'm not
it is.
helping him with anything.
Masturbation. I'm telling you, that's the word.
Yeah.
That's the word.
That was a
here.
225
We're
power
making
clean.
ourselves feel good.
Yeah.
That was a 225 power clean.
I wish we could go back. We can't go back to that. But that was 225, and he tossed. That means nothing.
It's nothing.
There's nothing for him. What does that? I mean, just what does that tell you?
That's like his
who we're
second
dealing
warm up.
with?
That is his second
This-
warm up lift.
This is so. Anyway, keep rolling them.
This
Oh,
is a
look at
perfect
this.
example of make it look like the sport, right?
Make it look like the sport.
Now, see, when
Make your weight room activity look like the sport because the head coach is stupid enough to believe that.
Now, as far as functioning training or whatever it is, what do you call it? This looks like stuff that I used to see in high school before functional training even was big.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of training was already in
football
high school.
coaches have always done
this. Yeah,
this sprint ladder shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Sprint
They've
ladders.
always done
the hammer guy. That kind of stuff I always saw in the weight
Football
room.
coaches have never understood the difference between training and practice.
Yep.
They have no idea that those are two separate activities. And this is for 100 years. They've never understood this. Right. Yep. You know, you train to get stronger, train for the physiological adaptation provided by the training that applies to the sport. And then you take that physiological adaptation and apply it specifically to the sport during what we call practice.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah. It's good stuff. So since we're not going to get anybody stronger or faster or more explosive, let's take them off the field and inadequately practice their sport.
Right.
By the guy who's unqualified to do so, right? Because there's no other players around, there's no strategy, none of this shit. So here we go. These are the, again, I think we're looking at the guy. Oh, no, not the Rams. Look at this.
What is that?
Because
he wasn't able to do the sport movement without him doing this gym movement. That's what I'm getting.
Because he hasn't been doing that since he was 4 years old. Right? He hasn't been running around motherfuckers and pushing them out of the way since he was 4. So this guy in the ankle socks over here is going to teach him how to be better at the thing he's been doing since he was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it really is and it's astonishing to look at this and think of the money these people are being paid.
Yeah.
And understand that they have no idea what the hell they're doing.
Right. And then every time,
but everybody now listen to us talk about this. How does it sound to the greater audience?
Well, it sounds like bullshit.
It sounds like bullshit. It sounds like sour grapes.
Sure.
It sounds like we aren't making any money, and we ought to be, because we know more about it than these geniuses at the LA Rams strength conditioning staff.
An important point. Everybody leaves that situation satisfied because does the athlete want to leave his sport and go bust his ass in the weight room 4 days a week? No, he doesn't want to fucking do that.
Rather
right?
not.
He'd rather not do that.
Not.
And furthermore, what motivation or incentive does he have to do so when he's getting paid millions of dollars and he's very successful at his sport already? So who the fuck are we to tell him
if he can get millions of dollars for 3 or 4 years,
right? And then
that's probably good enough for most of those guys. Now the fact that our approach might have him there for 10 or 12 years.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
is lost on.
That's lost on him, right? But they're kids, right? And the second person,
that trainer,
the second person in the scenario is a trainer, and he gets to show off, right, what he does, quote unquote, and he gets paid a bunch of money. And then the sports coach gets a guy who's injury free and looks like he just did a bunch of extra work outside of his purview. So everybody's fucking happy.
And every time that athlete does something amazing on the field, that trainer says, "Look, I did that.
I did that." Right.
And he gets to put it on his resume.
You know, if I was a recruiter, that'd piss me off.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. That's my guy.
That's my guy.
I put him there.
I put him in the locker room.
Yeah. Jerry Maguire put him there.
You know, you're just jerking off on him. That's all you're doing.
That's right. That's right.
Right? You know, it's just absolutely amazing.
And that trainer gets to put it on his resume that he did that, so he gets to charge Joe Blow, who has no athletic ability like that, gets to charge him out the fucking ass.
Oh, sure.
To do these little dances.
And then says, well, this is what I have my professional athlete doing. This is exactly what I have my professional athlete doing. Yeah. So that's what you're going to do.
I like the
and the lay person won't understand the logical disconnect.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
No idea.
Yep.
No idea.
I like
and that logical disconnect is a direct function of this media. Mm-hmm. Every time you watch sports on Sunday afternoon, and they show you training videos for these guys that are playing on the team that afternoon, what are they telling you? This is how they got that way. they're not telling you what you need to understand. They're not telling you that, it won't matter if you try to duplicate this same activity. You're never going to be at this level of athletics. Athletics is genetics. It's genetic potential. It is practice, and it is training. And this is not training. This is performance display is what this is.
Right.
It's a display of a performance that the athlete is already capable of. And as a result of that, it does not constitute training because it does not constitute a stress. It requires an adaptation.
Some of it's downright fucking embarrassing. I mean, I like to show the linemen because for the people that have never played football, or like linemen are some of the most impressive people on the face of the earth. They're fucking huge,
and they're fast as shit.
Extremely. They're I mean, not extremely fast.
315
they're
pounds.
Explosive. They're
fast,
quick.
laterally fast, forward and back fast, fast hands,
right.
Fast eyes, quick brain. Everything about them is amazing.
That's what I mean by
and
fast.
in the course of a game, they're receiving impact on every single play.
Every single play, they get the shit beat out of them. And then they play again next Sunday.
And they also the least amount paid.
Right.
In some instances, yeah. So we're trying to describe here some of the most impressive physical human beings on the face of the earth. And here's what we've got.
We got this guy doing.
He's playing a kids game like we do this with little kids at jiu-jitsu.
Kids game, it's reaction time drill.
And when I do it with 4-year-olds at 6-year-olds at jiu-jitsu, I'm not kidding myself that I'm improving their reaction. We're just playing a fucking game to
Just
get them
having
tired.
fun.
Just having fun.
Just having fun. This guy's not having fun. This guy is saying, "What in the hell am I having to do this?"
No. That guy believes. Oh well, this trainer says this will make my hand-eye coordination better, so I'm going to do this.
I'll bet you that most of these guys know better than that.
They're paid to be there.
Yeah,
they're
paid to be there.
This is
paid
the
to be
job.
there. Right. This is
Their
what.
opinion about it is irrelevant.
Right.
They do the job.
Yep. Here's another one. Here. Oh my God.
I would love for one of them to just say, "I'm not doing that. This is stupid. I'm not going to
If
do
he's
that."
a high enough level guy, he
Here, take a look
Probably
at this.
can.
This
Might
is
be
the
able to.
this is the Washington Redskins or whatever they're called now.
They're doing a water aerobics.
This looks like what this looks like is misbehavior at the swimming pool.
No splashing.
No splashing. That'll get you thrown out of the pool.
Dude, this is embarrassing.
Up and down, man. Listen to that expert instruction.
Don't breathe underwater.
Go. 9-8, 7-6, 5-4.
He's just
Hey, 3-2.
It's 30 seconds up in the air. Push it up in the air higher. Jump up in the air higher. Let's go. Let's go, Chris. Back up and down. Let's go.
to me, this is the most embarrassing one.
This is incredibly embarrassing.
Yeah, this is
Keep going. Let's go. Up, down.
this is the stupidest one we've seen so far.
Power it up. Jump to the
Wonderful. You've made them tired. What an accomplishment.
Maybe.
What an amazing accomplishment. You've made them tired in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
But you know what?
and all
they don't perform in
And
the
made them look
swimming
really
pool, do
stupid
they?
too.
And all three of them were linemen.
I don't know if they're all linemen. I mean,
They're just
they're
poor
very
bastards being
large
paid
men.
to listen to this idiot strength conditioning coach.
And you know in the gun world, in the training world,
Great.
you know, when you get a Navy SEAL doing something, then it's ultimately the most badass thing you can do.
Oh, look at this. This is so stupid.
But you know, this is common. If you add bands to something, it turns it into strength and conditioning.
You add bands to something, now you're badass.
You're making it harder
Look at
and
this
you're
guy.
turning it into strength and conditioning.
The last problem this guy's got is being able to hold his pistol in front of him.
Right, his 2-pound pistol.
His 2-pound pistol in front of him.
I mean, just looking at him, he's probably a 340, 350 bencher.
Oh, yeah, anyway.
So it's a 2-pound pistol.
It's a 2-pound pistol, but this is functional, see? Functional training.
And so what are we doing? Are we practicing? Are we training? What's happening? Because if you're practicing really shitty mechanics. His eyes are straight down. when he takes that band off, where's the gun going to go? It's going to fly up over his head. It's just so stupid. He's not getting any stronger.
Yeah, and this is a good point to make. If your practice, what you're doing in practice, interferes with the movement patterns that you have to display during the performance, then it's not practice. Right? It's like throwing a 5-ounce baseball, a 6-ounce baseball. We throw a 4-ounce baseball.
Right.
So why would you practice throwing a baseball slower? You swing weighted bats, you're practicing swinging slower. This interferes with the performance display, and it doesn't constitute practice if that's the case.
Well, what people say is that it makes whether it does or not, it may make your presentation, your throw, your swing faster momentarily. That's transient. It's going to go away like immediately. It doesn't persist.
I don't know that.
But
I'll tell you exactly what it is. What it is the strength and conditioning guy that's in charge of this doesn't understand the difference between practice and training. He doesn't understand that if he wants you stronger, that you have to bench and press and chin and deadlift and squat. That's how you get stronger.
Right.
You don't get stronger by adding an ounce to a baseball.
Right.
by that logic, why not have an 8-ounce ball, and then the next time a 10-ounce ball,
10-ounce
and then a
ball.
12,
And then a 16-pound shot.
because if that makes them throw harder, I mean by that logic,
Yeah,
that
by
should
that
be
logic.
it.
But
But if you're throwing harder, it's because you're throwing a slightly heavier ball. It's not because you somehow improved your ability to throw a ball fast.
Yeah.
to throw the 4-ounce ball
Exactly,
fast.
because when you
Right.
get the 4-ounce ball back in your hand, it's going to move the
because
same speed.
performance is specific.
Right.
Performance is incredibly specific to the rules of the game. The limitations of the performance are set by the rules. We throw a 4-ounce baseball from the pitcher's mound 60 foot 6 inches to the catcher's mitt. That's specific.
Yep.
So how do you practice that?
By throwing.
Well, you throw a 4-ounce baseball 60 foot 6 inches.
Yep.
And you do it over and over and over again. And then while you're doing it over and over again, you're also over here doing your benches and your presses and your chins, your weighted chins, your barbell rows, and your squats and your deadlifts just for base strength. So over here you're getting stronger. Now you're applying that strength that you've rapidly improved, by the way, to 60 foot 6 inches 4-ounce baseball.
Right. Yep.
That's how it's done. That's how it should be done, but that's not how it's done.
Yep.
That's not how it's done by these guys in these sports. And yeah, what do I know? Well, refute the argument. And you're simply telling me that the greatest in the world do it this way. That's not an argument. That is a historical observation. And that's not the same thing as an explanation. 25% of the pitchers in Major League Baseball at any given time throw sidearm. Now, no one advocates throwing sidearm, do they? Nobody. Yet 25% of the best baseball players on earth throw sidearm because they can. Because they're good enough, listen carefully now, they're good enough to do it wrong. I don't know what else to tell you. Making the observation that, the best NFL players in the world are playing useless games in their fucking weight room doesn't mean that the games aren't useless. It just means that that's who's doing it.
And it certainly doesn't mean that they got that way because they played those games.
Oh, no. They didn't get in the weight room by doing this silly shit since they were 5 years old.
Yep.
But here's my biggest concern, okay? My biggest concern is that that's going to happen.
That what's going to happen?
That 5-year-old kids are going to emulate this shit that they see here.
Well, no, this is what happens at the speed schools. This is what they do at the speed schools.
That's what I'm afraid, is that we are going to lose the potential for a whole bunch of high-level athletics because of functional training.
Well, let me just add something to that, because the people who are at risk are not the most athletically gifted. The people who are at risk are
they'll be okay.
Are the next 2 tiers down.
Right.
People who potentially have a chance at a scholarship.
Yes.
Who have a chance at a pro career, if they bust their ass and they do things correctly. Right. That's who we're talking to.
Not the freaks. The freaks are fine anyway.
They're going to be fine. That's who we're looking at.
Freaks are
right
always
now.
going to be fine.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Provided they work hard enough, they're going to be just fine.
But the kids that have to work for it and are willing to work for it are being told to do the work the wrong way.
Yeah, it's not likely that we will deal with a truly gifted special athlete. You know, those people are very rare. I don't think I've ever worked with one.
I've worked with 2 or 3.
Yeah, but you will definitely work with those other people, the guys who have a chance, but need to do some serious fucking work to get there.
Right.
You will absolutely work with those people, and that's the problem, because their parents are looking at this shit and they're asking you questions about when are we going to do this and this and this.
When are we going to do the stuff that the Dallas Cowboys do, that the LA Rams do?
Yep.
Well, we're not, because we are not the Dallas Cowboys or the LA Rams.
Exactly.
We are average kids that need to get stronger.
Yep.
So that we can function at a higher level, because our strength is going to be the thing that enables us to function at the higher level.
Right. Yeah.
And the goddamnedest thing about all of this is there are very few things as simple as just adding 5 pounds to the bar next workout.
Yep.
There are very few things. Just go up 5 pounds. Do 3 sets of 5 on the squat, the same depth, with 5 pounds more weight, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. And I understand it's boring. I don't care that it's boring. Do it anyway, because that's what makes you stronger, and stronger makes you better on the field.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. Strength is simple. It's not easy, but it is not complicated. It is ball-bustingly hard to come in on Friday and do a 5-pound PR on the 3rd set of 5 squats when you did it Monday too. When you've already done it Monday. It's ball-bustingly hard. It takes a lot of balls to do that 4th rep and have it be a grind and feel like shit, and to go ahead and try the 5th rep anyway. That teaches you stuff. That dancing around in the floor with 10-pound dumbbells and bands and chains and skipping around and doing dance class in the weight room doesn't teach you, all right? You learn about yourself and what you can do when you make yourself do the 5th rep of the 3rd set and do the weight. Take it all the way down. Do it. Don't cut it off. Don't be a pussy. Cut it off. You're a pussy. Do it like you did the 4th one. And then you come back up with it, you drive it back up, you do the work, and you rack it, and you say to yourself, oh, shit, I got to do that Monday. And then you come in Monday and do it. See, that is a process that all of the functional training in the world cannot do. It can't teach you about that 5th rep of the 3rd set of 5.
Conditioning training doesn't do it either. People fool themselves into thinking conditioning training. But I wasn't around, but I don't know how deep you got into the CrossFit thing. But we all did CrossFit. I did more than CrossFit. You know, the all the shit like flipping the tires and sledgehammers, just beating the living shit out of yourself for 2 hours for a workout.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get any better conditioned.
No.
Because
you don't.
because you adapt to the point that you adapt, and it's not as taxing on a systemic level as 3 days a week barbell training, 5 more pounds. There's nothing.
No, nobody
harder than
did it harder than me.
Nobody
Nobody did it harder than me. I promise you, we worked that as hard as we could, and you have to go through the process of becoming aware of the fact that at some point, the only thing that drives an increased CrossFit performance is increased strength.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
you have to come to that conclusion yourself.
Which is why all the pros are on drugs. That's why they keep getting popped. Before I found your gym, I got into the functional fitness bullshit, and I kept doing it over and over again. There was I think a guy named Joe DeFranco, if I remember right. He was putting out all these videos. He was I think he's down in Austin, maybe. I can't remember. Anyways, but I realized every single workout I'm doing something different. Yeah. How is this improving any kind of performance that I'm doing?
It isn't.
It's not.
That's the hole in CrossFit.
And I figured that out.
That's the hole in CrossFit.
But I wasted
Constant
a lot of time.
Variation is not training.
Yeah, and I wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, well, everybody did. Mm-hmm. Now the bright ones figured out that strong is where they have to spend their time.
Right. Yep.
One way or another.
Yep.
Strong's very important. Strong's very important. Ask anybody that's been busted for steroids in professional athletes. Mm-hmm. Professional athletics, strong's very important.
There was a time, and it was when you were still around, I would say 08 probably, 09. Mm-hmm. There was a time, because I was on the CrossFit boards all the time reading, but there was a time where everybody was being recommended to do they would call it a strength cycle. Do a cycle, do a cycle of starting strength.
A cycle.
Yeah, do a cycle of starting strength, and then some
like steroids.
and then some of like the strength biased CrossFit workouts started coming out, and then Wellborn's thing, CrossFit football started. So there was a period of about a year and a half where people were really realizing this shit.
Yeah.
And then everything fell apart at some point in like 09 or 10 or something, and that's when you left and everybody else left, and then they just went all in on their bullshit. But there was some definite potential there. They just fucked it up, didn't they?
Yeah, well, it didn't fit the dogma.
Yeah. That's how I found starting strength, was reading the board. Yeah. I was like, what is this SS everybody keeps talking about?
Yeah. Well,
point being that if you do something like this long enough, you will be looking for performance improvements, and you'll realize eventually that performance improvement comes through strength.
Right.
Just you don't want to waste 2 years fucking around before you do it.
2 ways to get strong: 5 pounds of workout or Dianabol.
Right. Yep.
Both at the same time work pretty good.
You might be able to do 10 pounds of workout.
But in the ultimate analysis, in the final analysis, the way you know that strong works is because they do steroids.
That's right.
Yep.
Because they don't want you to do
just
steroids.
Shut up and pretend. I mean, everybody comes to the realization that I need to be stronger.
Right.
All athletes at a high level come to the realization that I need to be stronger, and there's 2 ways to do it, boys and girls.
Very well said.
It's really, honestly, a lot easier to do the 5 pounds of workout way. It really is easier. But force production is power. The time part of power, we recruit that because we really can't train that. We've just shown you a bunch of videos of guys that were recruited for their ability to demonstrate the T part of that power equation. They were recruited for that. All the dancing around on the floor doesn't positively influence that at all. We recruit T. We build F. And we only do it if we know for a fact that we have to go to the weight room and get under the bar and pay our dues and do the work and PR the lifts. That's how we get stronger. And stronger is what we want to be. Those of you that don't understand the 5 pounds a week, 5 pounds of workout thing are probably going to end up doing the Dianabol and test. Because in the final analysis, you have to be stronger. Okay, how do you want to do it? The easy way or the hard way? Easy way really is 5 pounds of workout. Give this some thought. Okay, I can't say enough bad about the distraction that functional training has become. It's a giant distraction. It's cost a lot of people a whole lot of potential, a whole lot of athletic potential. Made a whole bunch of people a whole bunch of money. Not us, but a whole bunch of people a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, it's wrapped up in the authority of academia, and then also all professional strength and conditioning. It's a fucking problem.
It's a problem. It's a bad problem. And I think we've demonstrated a pretty good argument against it today. Thank you for joining us here on Starting Strength Radio, and we will come up with something even more interesting to talk about next time.